Are you insane? One man against trained commandos? Who do you think this man is? God? No. God would have mercy. He won't. Welcome back to Should You Watch This, in a special 5-part review of the Rambo series, Rambo III from 1988.
He's a soldier who never strikes first. He's a warrior who wasn't going to take on one more war.
What do you think this man is?
God!
Oh, God would have mercy. He won't.
But they forced him to come back to save his only friend. When they dared to draw first blood.
Why must you do this?
Because he do it for me.
Rambo III. Stallone. Memorial Day.
What the hell is going on? Who is this?
Your worst nightmare.
Joining me today is 5-time guest, Angry Dane.
Hey, glad to be here.
And 8-time reoccurring guest, Dr. Dare.
What up?
Welcome, gentlemen. Description today for Rambo 3, and we'll get into the description and title a little bit, but the description of the movie is Rambo mounts a one-man mission to rescue his friend Colonel Trautman from the clutches of the formidable invading Soviet forces in Afghanistan. Directed by first-time director Peter MacDonald, director of such hits as Mo Money and Never-Ending Story 3.
I didn't know there was an Never-Ending Story 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
There's a part 2?
There's so many. There's too many of that movie. He did not have an illustrious career, should we say. Top billed stars Sylvester Stallone, Richard Crenna, Kurtwood Smith, who you recognize from that 70s show and
Red.
Yeah.
Red and...
No, Red is his name in
RoboCop.
that 70s show.
Oh, that okay. Yeah, and RoboCop.
He's the bad guy in RoboCop, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's awesome
Yeah.
in RoboCop, for sure.
Ooh.
And Spyros Focus.
Like the video game?
Focus. F-O-K-A-S. Spyros Focus.
Is this like a... I just got to ask. Is this like a gag?
I mean, it's turning into a gag only because I have a hard time...
How do you pronounce this? His name was Chris Pine. Pine. It's Pine, Chris. Chris Pine. That's his name.
Okay, this
Chris
guy's
Pine.
name is S-P-I-R-O-S. Spyros?
Spiros?
Spiros.
Spiros?
I would say, yeah.
Spiros. F-O-K-A-S. Focus? Focus?
Focus.
Focus.
Spiros Focus.
It sounds...
You know what? Fuck us all, man.
This guy... So he's the bad guy from Jewel of the Nile, if you don't already know that.
He's super hateable. He did a great job.
Not in this movie. He's not hateable in this movie.
Wait, which guy is the... Who are we talking about
Well, he's
here?
hateable in Jewel of the Nile. I'm just saying, in this movie, he's awesome.
Is he the one who
Yes.
outfits Rambo?
He's like the father figure of the Afghani troops when they go into like the
He
elder.
like talks with them and says, "Of course we'll fight." He did a great job.
Yes.
Is he
For
the one
the
who
little
asked,
amount.
asked him what the blue light's for?
No, no.
No, that was a different guy.
Oh,
blue.
okay. I know the older guy with the, great...
when they were around
Yeah.
the fire.
Now
talking-
leave us, and we will make preparations.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he was talking to Rambo was asking them, "Hey, I need a couple of like 2 men, right?" So that guy. Runtime of 1 hour 42 minutes. The longest Rambo film in the series, FYI. That's not very long.
How
1
long
hour.
did you say?
1 hour 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Rated R, of course. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says adventure, action.
This one you might be able to flip it. I think on the last one we
Yeah.
agreed. This was a lot of action.
Way more action than adventure.
Yeah.
But a lot of adventure.
Yeah, it was dope.
Rating from IMDb is a 5.8 out of 10 from 151,000 reviews. So that's lower, much lower than
I'll tell you
Rambo
what it is.
2.
It's bullshit, Chris.
I would agree with you. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 39% from critics. Only 36 reviews, though. So that's like kind of crappy. And then 45% from audiences. What do you guys feel about that?
I think that's a misrepresentation. I think people are sleeping on Rambo 3. It's like I don't get it.
Maybe it's because we are watching them in sequence. Like maybe compared to just movies at large, it is terrible. But we watched the second one, which I liked.
Yeah, we're
and then
comparing
this one
them
was
to
like,
themselves.
This one was awesome.
Are all these ratings from these different websites, are they over time? Like, can people keep adding to this over time, or is it when it was released?
Oh, I wonder if you could see like what was it rated by people in between 2000 and 2010.
Well, I did read about. I mean, at the time, Roger Ebert,
Siskel Roger,
and Siskel and Ebert. That's it. They were split. Siskel said thumbs up, and all of the Rambo fans will love it. It delivers. But Ebert, thumbs down.
Ebert was always
Why
kind
did
of like
Ebert
a
have a
little
thumbs
jerk,
down?
man.
He said it was just not good.
Ebert was the one with like grayish hair, full head of hair, and shorter and fatter.
the shorter, fatter.
Later on, something happened to
Lamer.
his face, right?
Yeah, he got
What?
jaw cancer.
And he had to have a bunch of his jaw removed. He looked very different after that.
He did.
That's really sad.
There's a documentary about that, and it's very good.
They were like such a big part of movies when I was a kid.
They were it, dude.
They like had a TV show that my parents, we watched it all the time.
When did that come? It was on like the weekend. Was it on Sundays or Saturdays?
I remember
Why I don't remember.
And I didn't really
I remember
care.
watching it.
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert. 2 thumbs up. It was like a big deal.
Yeah, Siskel gives it 2 thumbs up. Ebert, no so much. Right now, at the time of this recording, if you have Showtime, the Showtime add-on on Xfinity, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, you can stream this right now.
But if you only have it on 2, nope. Gotta have it on all 3.
No, what do you mean?
Nothing. Just cut that.
Okay.
Just cut that joke.
So, okay. If you have it on those, you can stream it, but if not, you're going to need to rent it, or, like I said last time, buy the 4K set and watch them all.
The 4K set's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So this brings us to the best part of the show. Should or shouldn't you watch this? I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should watch Rambo 3. Number 1, if you like more of Sly Stallone, this is for you.
More Rambo.
2, if you want to see some crazy horseback maneuvers from Sly.
He's on the horse.
Dude, apparently he grew up riding horses. And he trained even more for this film so he could ride. I mean, there's a scene. We'll get into the horseback.
Yeah, because it's cool.
It's awesome. So that's number 2. Number 3, if you thought the kill count from Rambo First Blood Part 2 was low, this is for you. And number 4, if you want to see quite possibly the best bazooka kill on screen.
Which one was that? Just when he's on top of the thing and he shoots the helicopter?
He shoots the helicopter with a gun, doesn't he?
Am I in the wrong? Am I thinking of the wrong movie?
He bazookaed
in part 2 on the river.
Shoot, you're right.
When he played possum and then pulled out the bazooka.
Well, you guys need to give me number 4 because I screwed up on this one. I for some reason
I think
thought
it's
it was
because
from
it's
3.
the redemption of the Colonel.
Yeah.
Right? It should be Rambo 2, Colonel's Redemption, because he was an asshat in the first 2.
Yeah.
And this one he kind of redeems himself, which is fitting since he passed away and couldn't be in the 4th one.
And it wasn't yeah, you're right. And it wasn't his redemption was like a slow burn
Through the whole film.
Yeah, started out low.
He like fights in that
And then
cave
goes
with
high.
him and turns out to be a badass and kind of changes from just using Rambo to they're kind of friends.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Okay, so part number 4 reason is redemption of Robert Creno. What's his name?
Colonel Trautman?
Colonel
Trautman. Yeah, Trautman's Redemption.
Troutman's Redemption.
That should have been the
Creno.
subtitle.
Yeah.
Rambo 3 Troutman's Redemption.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
Trautman's Blood.
And number 5, if you thought the scope for the last film was small, get ready, because Rambo 3 is coming for you.
The biggest explosions ever.
I mean, the cinematography with the helicopter shots are awesome. Mm-hmm. I just remember seeing the slow pan and they're dipping, and I mean, it's awesome.
And they're like flying really low, and they're those giant Russian. I guess I don't know if they're really Russian, but the Russians use them a lot in this.
Yeah, they have unlimited supply of choppers.
Oh no, I must go back. I've run out of gasoline.
All right, at this point, there may be some spoilers ahead, so turn it off if you haven't seen Rambo 3. Go do that right now. But now
you should watch.
You should watch
it.
Yeah.
Should you watch this for sure? All right, let's jump into the review. I can blast you with some trivia if you want.
I love it when he blasts us with trivia.
Yeah, man. My face is ready.
The 1990.
I mean, my ears. Sorry.
Guinness Book of World Records deemed Rambo 3 the most violent film ever made, with 221 acts of violence and at least 70 explosions and over 108 characters killed on screen. Which, when we get to the kill count, I feel like I need to do a public service and really hone in on the actual kill count, because I found 4 different kill counts.
Like, we're going to make a definitive
The Popcorn Priest has been very kind of obsessed about kill counts in these movies.
I am, yes.
I don't know if we did this on one of the previous podcasts, but there was talk of how someone should cut a kill count meter into the corner of these movies.
Accuracy, bullets,
But I think we thought that because it was incepted into our minds when we all watched Hot Shots.
Oh no!
Hot Shots?
Oh no!
They're making fun of, and there is a
shut up, man! Cut this out. That was a totally original idea. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dang it! Well,
either way, they had it right.
Good idea.
It's cool.
But
although someone already did it. Speaking of Hot Shots Part 2, Richard Crenna appeared in Hot Shots 2 Part 2, which is a parody of the Rambo series. Before taking the part, Crenna approached Stallone for his opinion and blessing, something Stallone was more than happy to give.
Which is odd. He seems like kind of a jerk about stuff, and then for him to be cool about that is kind of goes against it.
Yeah.
He's like rewriting the script and just making things worse.
Especially where he had so much ownership in it. You'd think it'd be more precious.
I think it goes to show how smart he really is. It sounds like he's just some control freak. That man was a king of the 80s, and he knew that this would be good for the franchise, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just more exposure, right?
He's a lot smarter than he sounds or looks.
Yes.
Sorry, Slide.
Oh, I forgot to say the box office haul. So this had... Okay, here's another first for a Rambo movie. With its $63 million budget, this was the most expensive film ever made at the time of its release.
Ever made?
In the history.
At that time.
At that time, it was the most expensive film ever made, and it grossed $189 million, which was a flop because Rambo 2 grossed over $300 million.
Really?
So $189 million on a $63 million budget. Most expensive.
Is that globally and total like that?
Yeah, international box office, including domestic and international. It's insane. It didn't make as much. Rambo 2 is just huge.
Just because of the hype of Rambo 1. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but...
Yeah, I really want to know why Rambo 2 was such a big deal. I want to know what year was Rambo 2? Do you remember?
I do. It's
85 or
85.
So? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the action movie landscape was in 1985. Like, I'd like to see some other movies that were action movies from that time, because I feel like my barometer's off.
You should have told me, and I would have done the research, but I can't do it.
We'll do that later.
I'll have like a different tonal of voice come in and be like, there were some movies in 1985.
In 1985, there were 13.
Because this movie seems way better. Like, it did have a bigger budget.
Not just seemed. It was way better.
But just the production value and...
the plot.
The story. It's like...
Everything was better.
The story was better, yeah.
The action.
First Blood Part 2 was like the rough draft, and this was the final version.
Yeah, speaking of that, the name... It wasn't...
They workshopped the title a little bit more.
Come on.
This is... by far of the 5 titles, First Blood and Rambo 3 are the best. The other ones don't make any sense because here's this. The working title for this movie was Full Circle: First Blood Part 3.
I kind of wish they would have named it that, even though it's a clunky, horrible name.
For Full Circle: First Blood Part 3. What it should have been, you were talking the other day, it should have been First Blood, then Rambo Second Blood, then Rambo Third Blood, and so forth. Right?
It just, I don't know if I have an idea of what it should have been. It just shouldn't have been what it is.
Thank you.
The fact that it's so bizarre
It should have been
kind of funny.
Rambo, Rambo 2, Rambo 3, Colonel Trautman's Redemption, Rambo 4, liquefying the Asians, and Rambo 5, killing them cartels. Killing cartels.
Killing cartels.
That's what I think it should have been.
Yeah, it's the worst set of, like, they don't follow any rules.
He like changed the nomenclature of the second movie to fix it, and then didn't. Just was like, oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
They all suck.
Rambo's bow that he used in the film had a 90-pound pull on it so that Stallone's muscles could flex harder. He was huge in this film. Big or bigger than 3 or 2.
Bigger.
Is there a documentary about like his training and the steroids and stuff? There should be.
He for sure is taking many steroids in 4, but
It's not as interesting as him being jacked in the Expendables.
oh my
Like,
gosh.
I remember seeing pictures of the set where, like, Mel Gibson, who literally, I mean, he did all these shows where he's skinny. He rolls up and looks like Rambo with a different head, and you're like, oh, that to me was cooler.
Just like action figures.
They're all like,
seriously.
"Hey, you guys, come into the back room and let's all shoot up."
Dude, and he says in the second one, we're expendable, doesn't he? That's where the name came from, the second movie.
Yes, exactly. That's where it comes from. All right. During filming, Sylvester Stallone had a close call with a spinning helicopter rotor blade. In fact, had he been struck, it would have certainly decapitated him. Stallone laughed off the near miss with the quip, "At least I'd have saved a fortune on haircuts."
Yes.
Come on, dude.
Yes.
That sounds like what his characters would say.
Yeah,
in the
dude.
movie.
He's a method
Because
actor.
he writes them.
Yeah, exactly. He's slowly turning into an amalgam of all of his characters that he's created when you see him. The Expendables, Rambo, and
Well,
Rocky.
and that kind of, we talked about before, that embracing of that is what's made him a success.
This is true.
Yeah.
Another fun fact, to date, this was the only film in the series where Rambo wasn't tracked with dogs.
Huh.
But Rambo Last Blood, he also wasn't tracked with dogs, but that
this point.
they probably didn't know about that. So this is for Angry Dane. The knife in this film is the first in the series to not be designed by Arkansas knifesmith Jimmy Lale.
I looked it up. It's Lyle.
Okay.
Oh,
Jimmy
shoot.
Lyle. That sounds like an Arkansas name.
Sorry you had such a hard time with that, Chris.
It's only 4 letters. The blade was
Lale.
designed by fantasy knife designer Gil Hibben. Hibben.
I think you nailed it.
Hibben.
Hibben.
Gil Hibben. And is 2 inches longer than the one in Rambo: First Blood Part 2, and 3 inches longer than the knife in First Blood. The knife is also the first in the series to not be of a survival knife design, although Hibben did produce a hollow handle sawtooth survival knife. It was used during the first few days of filming. Rambo can be seen using it to pry up a mine in the minefield scene. A close-up of the final design plunging into the sand was filmed later to begin the scene. Lele,
Why did they switch? Like,
I don't know.
what a weird thing.
Jimmy Laliley did build a prototype Bowie knife roughly similar to what Hibben eventually produced, now being reproduced by knifesmith Von Neely. There we got we're getting deep into the knife production. But Stallone rejected that one from Lyle, showing Lyle a Hibben design more like what he wanted. Not surprisingly, Lyle suggested he use the Hibben design.
He suggested that.
After, well, what are you gonna say to?
I'm gonna say I made
Sly?
the knives for the other two movies. I can make it look however you want, you effing idiot. Tell me what you want it to look like, and I'll gladly make it. I'm Lele.
You could,
Don't talk to Lele like that.
You could tell that Sly was just like, people were just like, okay, sounds good. I mean, he asked for a plane for this movie. What are those, Gulfstream or Jetstream?
Like
jets?
a G6, like a G6.
It's like a $19 million plane. He asked for one as part of his payment for this movie.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
Wow. How much did he get paid?
I don't know. I just remember reading about that.
That's pretty awesome.
It's insane, right?
I'm going to change my compensation at work.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part of this movie?
Chicken. Tank, helicopter, chicken.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I forgot, like 2 feet off the ground.
So
Dude,
awesome.
Does
So much like
that
that thing.
chopper was like right by the ground.
We always talk about things like that wouldn't happen. This is like the king of all.
Yes.
You would fly over the tank. You wouldn't crash into the tank.
Not if you were enraged with anger.
The craziest
He was
part
not
about
thinking
that
clearly.
was, okay, there's no CG, very little CG back then. I mean, right?
Yeah.
That aircraft was right along the ground, and then it cuts back to Rambo, and you think there's going to be another cut? No, it's instant explosion. And Rambo, he falls down inside the cavern of this tank,
Which seems enormous.
and
in
it
the
looks
movie.
like it's like
it's like a studio apartment.
2,500 square feet tank. It's insane how big.
I forgot about that.
He like gets up and brushes himself off and kind of does a couple of
Runs
stretches.
laps.
Yeah. And then splashes his head.
We should watch it again. Maybe it just seemed that way.
No, it was huge.
But yeah, he's laying in like a 20 by 20 room. Like, huh.
What was your favorite scene, Dr. Dare?
You know, it really has nothing to do with Rambo, but I just liked the horse where they're like playing polo with a dead goat or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's not a stunt double.
No.
That fool is riding fast, leaning off and
Super
grabs
fast.
a fake goat off the ground. But that's impressive,
Which
man.
you can tell is like a furry duffel bag.
The
Yeah.
one he picks up is very different from the other one. It is like
Yeah.
a furry duffel bag.
Yeah.
The other one is a real goat. This one is, but he still picks it up, like hanging, going full rip on that horse.
And I think
Also, you notice you didn't see that no animals were injured in the making
Yeah.
of this film.
They
Those horses
were.
were falling down.
those horses were definitely injured in the making of the film.
There were lots of horses breaking legs and then being put down during
Yeah.
this movie.
Like half.
I actually read there's a scene that was edited out because we saw a couple of scenes with the horse do like
Yeah.
NOs over itself.
Yeah.
I think a horse was probably killed because they cut out a couple of scenes, and that's probably why.
It's an interesting thing for a Rambo. Rambo seems so blunt. He's just out there killing dudes. But it seemed really respectful to the Afghani culture to include that game and give it so much reverence, and he plays, and I don't know, it felt almost out of place in a Rambo movie. Just normally it's just mindless explosions, but I don't know, it was really cool. I really like that scene. Was awesome.
There was a lot of character development and like little vignettes with the little kid where he's talking about his little necklace.
Yeah.
Which harkens back to Rambo
Yeah.
First Blood Part 2. And then you've got all the stuff with the kids who are injured, and even them talking about the little toys that the Russian nesting dolls were
Yeah.
fake bombs to kill the kids.
Or, you know what? I take it back. The scene where he's going through his stuff and the guy says, "What does that do?" It's blue.
What's
What
that?
does he say?
What is that? The blue light. What does it do? It shines blue.
It's blue.
It turns blue.
It's blue.
So good.
It was so good.
And by the way, that looks amazing in
when he uses it in the cave.
It's on 4K, especially.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Hey, that reminded me of the grenade kill in the cave.
That was a good part.
When
too.
he's fighting the middle boss.
The boss that just wears him down, so the last boss has a chance.
The main boss, yeah, the mega boss.
Yeah.
The middle boss, like they have a great fight, and
Yes.
then he's getting Russian bear hugged.
Yes.
And you see the close up of him trying to grab the pin of the grenade like
Yep.
6 times, and finally he gets it and throws him down. And you noticed, Angry Dane, that the explosion usually in these movies it's like a quick cut and then just carnage of like,
Because he falls down in and his neck snaps
Yeah,
because
he's
of the
hung.
rope, and right as it it explodes.
it explodes, and then you briefly see his body.
You see like the dummy or
Flaming
whatever
body
it is
dummy
falling
falling.
from the explosion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super good.
That's not how it is in the fourth. It's just a spray of red.
yes, like CG.
There's a lot of
blood.
CG splatter.
Yeah. It's the wettest Rambo.
Oh, jeez. That brings us to the kill count section of this podcast. Kill count / kiss count. There are 0 kisses in this movie.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is good. And just as a reminder, Rambo must be the one who causes the death. The death must be confirmed with video evidence, which I'm doubting any of these numbers now because I've got too many different conflicting numbers.
I think we should trust the Rambo wiki.
3, Rambo must cause certain death, not just injury. And then the death must occur in the movies. Kills from video games or comics are not included. So I got 3 different numbers: 115, 132, and 165. Like, that's a lot of variance.
How do you vary between 113 and 165? Like, just you could watch the movie and just count it. How is there that much variation?
Yeah, dude. So the Rambo wiki gives it 115. And they say that that's a equivalent of about 1.3 kills per minute. So,
Oh, I just forgot a scene. I remembered a scene that we forgot, dude.
what?
I know I'm changing, but when he first comes in and he brings Red, Trautman brings Red, and he's like
Stick
fighting. He's stick fighting.
Oh, dude,
that
the
was
blood
so
sport.
dope. He's like, yeah, it's blood sport.
Dude, I gotta look up Bloodsport. What year that? Because I swear, one of them ripped each other off. Right?
I mean, I don't think Van Damme would ever do that.
Yeah. They were buddy. Bloodsport, 1988.
Yes.
Same year.
Same year.
Someone
Whoa.
watched Rambo 3 and they're like, oh my gosh, we could make a movie out of that first scene.
Maybe Stallone was like talking to him, and they made
It was
at the
that
same
scene was
time.
awesome. I didn't remember it at all, and when it came up, I was like, oh.
I didn't
yes.
remember it at all either. So good.
Set the tone for a great movie.
They were fighting with those sticks, those dowels, those thick dowels. The sound design was really good for that scene too. I'm looking forward to watching this on my surround sound because we only watched it on a TV of small TV speakers. Sad face emoji. All right. Any other scenes you want to talk about that we forgot? Anything we're missing before we get to our
the
rating?
kid who like comes with them and then gets them in trouble when they're inside.
Dude, that kid is on my list of popcorn beefs, bro. If that stupid little kid wouldn't have gone in with him,
The first attempt would have been successful.
he screwed up everything, man.
That was his
Screw
whole
that kid,
plot
dude.
point. My parents are dead. I'm a soldier. I've been trained for this. A hard
Guess
life.
what? We're gonna go do big man soldier stuff, and I don't need you screwing things up for me.
Yeah, and-
Also, you could have got popped off by a fudging mine, man.
It was annoying.
Sorry, I'm really upset at that kid.
Me too.
I know it would have reduced the amount of the movie to like 25 minutes less,
They go in 5 minutes later. They come out. Roll credits.
which
No
I guess
helicopter tank.
maybe
bro.
I should be.
We should be
thanking
grateful.
the kid.
Yeah.
But they're just the scenes of them in the corridors of the prison and just him
in
getting
the
hit
sewers?
in the leg, and I'm just like, oh, man. And he was right there talking to Trautman. He was like, "Oh, we got you."
Yeah.
And then
Guy comes down the stairs. I got a beef. Rambo gets shot in his leg, dude. He gets shot like right through the meatiest part of his leg.
He does.
And then he just gets up and runs, man. All you had to do is change it so he just gets grazed or just do anything.
It like the squib explodes,
Dude,
right
in the middle of his
jacked
middle of
up.
his thigh.
It would have disabled him, and he just gets up. Like that's
Like
more unbelievable than
Tendons
the
and
tank
muscles ripped. Like
fight.
it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then they address the other small shot.
Oh, that
his-
shot
of his
that was one of the
side.
coolest parts of the whole show, where he pushes it through and then dumps all the powder in.
Was it
and lights it on
arrow?
fire?
What did he get impaled with?
That was on the second one, right?
No. This is
No.
3.
This was this one?
And then
Yeah,
he lit
'cause
it on
He
fire.
dumps the bullet or the gunpowder on it and lights it on fire. The fire goes from the back of his hole of his
Out, it's coming out
and
both
it
sides.
Squirts out. The fire goes out the other side.
And the practical effects were really good. I mean, it's not hard. Hollywood's good at those, but it was gross and awesome. I forgot about that.
But yet, he's got a wound that's, I don't know, maybe a half an inch from the side of his abdomen.
Yeah, no
but
organs,
we don't
no
talk
nothing.
about his full-on leg that's exploded, basically. Yeah.
No big deal.
That's a good beef. I like that beef.
And beef with the critics, because this show was awesome.
I have beef with the critics as well. I mean, here's the thing. With movie reviews in general, this is Rambo 3, okay? We've had 2 of these silly action movies. I guess the first
I think
one
the
wasn't-
first one's not a silly
not
action
silly,
movie.
but you know what I mean? Like, we've progressed to Rambo 3. You know what you're going into.
It's not good to keep addressing the PTSD or a lot of the psychological stuff. The second one shows the direction it's going, and this one builds on it in an amazing way.
That's it.
What else should they do? Either the movie doesn't get made, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
that's what
they
I hate.
executed on everything so well.
And you're Dane. What say ye?
I really liked it. I think what Dr. Dare said about, in the second one, they kind of shifted it. This is going to be an action movie franchise with multiple releases.
Yeah.
You couldn't do a franchise based on the first one that was based on a novel.
It would, yeah.
It's really
No.
heavy in social commentary about Vietnam vets and the mistreatment. And
Yeah.
you can't. That's not what these action movies where there's part 3, 4, 5, 6 are about. You can't do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that the first one always has to be the best of the franchise because it was more important. It had more depth. It was something I'd never seen before. It was really cool. It was a social commentary. This is just fun.
It depends on your scale of how you're rating, because I mean, for me, the last one is pretty dang good.
Oh, shoot.
So
Rambo 5,
you guys,
Fifth Blood, Part
neither
17.
of you guys have not seen it, so it's gonna be really good. All right, let's give your rating. So we've got 3 under our belt, our gun belt, our Rambo gun belt. Where does this fall? I think it's going to be easy to get your ratings. I think we're all going to be on the same page here, but let's see.
I'm a sucker, and I really liked it. I mean, I'll give it probably 4.5 stars out of 5.
Okay.
It was thoroughly enjoyable. There was more plot development than I expected. Trautman's redemption was so satisfying because I kind of hated him. I know you guys didn't, but I kind of hated him in the other 2 movies.
Yeah.
So it tied things up. It was phenomenal.
I like that. I'm giving all of them golden buckets. But that's just because I am biased. But if I were to rate the first 3, I'm going I'm going Rambo, or excuse me, First Blood. Then I'm going Rambo 3, and then I'm going Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Yeah.
As if
I
I'm
agree.
ranking them so far.
You almost can't include the first one. It's a completely different style of movie.
Yeah, it's on a different level.
Yeah.
And not on a like higher level, just different.
Just a
Apples and
different
oranges.
movie.
Yeah, that's just different.
Yeah. Man, that first movie looks so good on 4K, by
Yes.
the way. So good. All right, any parting thoughts?
Wait,
Is there
Ryan,
any-
did you give yours? What do you think, man?
Oh, dude, I just skipped
Oh.
over.
I mean, not that anyone cares. I
Did
guess.
you give like a? Did you
Four
give
and a
a
half.
rating?
4.5 out of 5 stars?
stars.
Oh,
I gave it a golden bucket.
I give it vegetable carrots of 5.
5, which is lower
A vegetable
than
carrot.
7. It's lower than 7.
Have I done 7 before?
How many vegetable carrots are possible?
You did Blue Diamonds
varies.
in our Tenet podcast.
No, he switched it to
blue
vegetable
diamonds
carrots.
and vegetable.
Yeah, he did both. And he only
need to
did
come up-
vegetable carrots because I'm an idiot.
I need to come up with a ratings scale.
It's all good.
I like it. This was the one I remember the most from when I was a kid. I think I saw like a TV edited version of it like a few different times. And this was the one me and my friends would like quote the lines. Like, I remember once we got into a school bus at school. It was parked behind the school, and they all had CB radios. And one of the school buses was out doing the kindergarten kids, picking them up and dropping them off. And I got on the CB and started talking on it. And the other bus driver was upset. And she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm your worst nightmare."
Yes. We forgot to bring that up. The quote from the second one was, "I'm coming for you." What does he say?
Yeah, I'm coming for
I'm
you.
coming for you. And this one was, "I'm your worst nightmare."
And he does it in the same way.
Yeah,
into
it's the same
like,
thing. And then he
radio.
immediately breaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was kind of my favorite as a kid, so I'm probably biased too. But
I mean, it was in 88, so it's like prime for you and I for our age.
yeah, like, so I don't know. I just thought the second one was kind of corny. Like, it seemed low budget, kind of. Like, the explosions and everything were cool. But compared to this one, it just seemed like more of an independent studio type movie compared to this one. Seemed like a legit big blockbuster movie.
And to be honest with you, I think if this one had made as much money or more than the second one, there would have been more than 5 Rambo movies. We would have had probably 8.
Were there any in the? There weren't
Why
any
do
in
you
the
say
90s,
8?
right?
I'm
They
just
were-
saying they stopped in 88 and we didn't have another one for 20 years.
Yeah, there would have been like one in 92 or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
bet we would have got 2 more.
I'm kind of glad because maybe it would have just stopped altogether and we wouldn't have got more later. You know, maybe it would have run out of steam, and now we got the 2 newest ones. I mean, I saw the 4th one in theaters and was just like so happy. How about this? I feel like this is too positive. What didn't you guys like? Like, Chris, did you like everything?
I told you my biggest
Just
beef was
the
the
kid.
stupid kid. I liked the continuity of the headband
And the necklace.
necklace he got from the jade necklace from the lady from the first one, which his only kiss of all 5 movies, and immediately she's murdered.
You take me with you, John. You make good decision, John. Love you a long time. I'm gonna go get us some water.
So I didn't like that. I think that's it. I also read that his scars, from the first movie when he's getting manhandled in the
They like replicated them.
yeah, all 3. So they
Ooh.
added like one of the ones from his face and some of the one from his like chest or where he got shot or whatever. So they're paying attention. I don't know if we're going to be able to tell in 4 because his skins are starting to
He has a
His
shirt
wrinkles
on.
will cover up all his scars.
getting
I don't
ripped.
think he takes his shirt off in 4.
Probably not.
He just wears that T-shirt, which is always soaking wet, so he looks ridiculous for the 50-year-old.
But he
was.
takes his shirt off in Expendables, the first one.
Do you think he has Spanx on in Rambo 4?
Dude, I remember in Expendables,
For sure.
That's why he doesn't take the shirt
Yeah, but
off.
it's
a
not the
muscle
top.
shirt.
It's his underwear, right? He's not trying to flex on us all.
yeah.
He's got those Spanx bottoms.
I remember the first one, or the first Expendables, seeing, like, he turned, one side of him was, like, real nice. And then he turns to the right, and his right arm is, like, it's, like, really, like, pruny and, like, raisiny. And then he's also got a big arm tat that's trying to cover up some, and I think that's why he got the tat, was to cover up whatever happened to his body from whatever he was taking to make him so big.
Oh, like maybe he had stretch marks.
I don't know,
From
but it
hulking up too fast.
Yeah.
looks bad.
Like his skin doesn't have the same elasticity, and so it just,
It kind of
it just like,
went down.
it acted more like a t-shirt. And
Maybe
just
it's
ripped.
simulating the same thing that happens to the testicles when you take too much testosterone. They start to prune
Or,
up.
dude, I had a buddy who was in Mexico, and he came in too much contact with the skins of the mangoes. And the side effects of that are gargantuan. Like, I'm talking elephantitis stuff. It's,
Like you have to push a wheelbarrow in front of yourself.
yeah, dude. Wincing in pain the whole
that
time.
sounds like a horrible experience.
Yeah. I'll figure out who it was if I can rack my brain. I think his name was Chris. It was Chris Compton.
Thank you.
Compton.
Comes from.
I hope your
comes from-
skin has all kind of
Sean.
shrunk back finally.
All right, the last trivia I've got on our way out of Rambo 3. The film's ending was longer. In the original cut, as Rambo and Trautman are driving away from the freedom fighters' camp, as seen in the theatrical cut, Rambo decides to not go back with Trautman home to America, and Rambo decides to stay with the freedom fighters, feeling that he has finally found somewhere he belongs. Trautman understands and says goodbye to Rambo and wishes him luck and returns home to America alone.
I think that would have been better, actually.
Yes.
Popcorn Priest, did you do
What?
any research on where the whole conflict was? The actual conflict in reality when this movie was released? Was that over already, or was it actually still happening? The Russian Afghani thing.
So I did read about this, and the reason why the producers feel like the reception was diminished was because Gorbachev pulled their troops out of Afghanistan 3 weeks before the release of the movie. So the whole like gravitas of them making
Took the wind out of the sails.
Political statement.
Just
yeah.
keep abusing people for 3 more weeks, Gorby. What the deal?
So that's why when it came out, it was like people were like, "Oh, it just wasn't.
insensitive. The Russians are really nice
Yeah.
people.
And then the Cold War ended a few years later, and our action movies had to take a huge shift.
So we thought.
Right.
Right.
At the time. But like, and then in the 90s, our villains were just, we had no prototype.
It's not good."
They were German.
They were terrorists.
Like
they were all over the place.
Hans Gruber.
They were like digital terrorists.
They were like all Austrian.
Technology
German.
became the new enemy in most of those movies.
yeah,
Dude,
like spies and
The
stuff.
Net. Do you
The
remember
Net?
that? That freaked me out.
Ghost. That's all I
yeah.
remember is when she logs into the back door of that program. It's Mozart's Ghost.
Yeah, dude.
That's a deep cut. Any parting thoughts?
No, sir.
Hit me up on the Twitters if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet. Next week, no surprise, we're continuing our breakdowns of the Rambo series with John Rambo.
So good.
And as always, thanks for listening. This has
Stick
been
with the naming convention. Jeez.
yeah. This
Rambo 4 Part 3 times 2 divided by 3 plus 1.
is equals 4.
So this is
Rambo
John
4.
Rambo 1. That's what they should have called it.
John Rambo. Yeah,
Just to make it weirder.
Just start it over.
Rambo 4th Blood.
Yes. Also, in conjunction with this release, I've created a Patreon account. If you've liked anything up to this point and want to throw a few shekels at the priest, please do so if you feel so inclined at patreon.com/Popcorn Priest. Thanks for listening. This has been Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, and for Dr. Dare, Angry Dane, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.